You know.
Wait. So
Because we had an argument. I want to say maybe, you know, I say about 4 or 5 months ago we had an argument.
Wait. Excuse me.
When we was, you know, debating, and some of us didn't agree, we felt like there was a lot of conspiracy theory going on with the accusations, which probably still is because of the way it came out, but he's guilty.
Okay, so
he admitted it. I can't defend. No. And that's the thing is, I can't necessarily say he's guilty because he didn't admit it to doing it, but he acquired it with the intent of doing nonsense. So therefore, I can't fuck with him.
Okay, but then right after that, we asked him, did he acquire those
Quaaludes?
Did he use those drugs to have sex with women without them knowing? He didn't answer the question.
His lawyer
told him not to answer it. Okay, so
his lawyer objected.
Yeah, his lawyer said, "Don't answer that question. Don't answer that question." So
that's still not been admitted.
Okay, right. So, like I said with E, like we discussed earlier, E, I said dealing with this case. Okay, I think when we talk about our debate a while ago, I think we could agree that I wasn't for it happening. I just believed it did happen. You know what I mean? I had saw sufficient enough proof. So now
you heard
exactly.
That was the problem. We didn't see anything.
No. I knew that he had. I knew there was there's enough proof that I had seen. There was enough.
From what? What proof did you see?
Or you believe that it was enough?
What did you see?
Okay, you want to know the proof? Okay, first of all, I knew that more than 2 sexual harassment cases had been brought against him, and he had settled. So to me, in my personal opinion,
settle doesn't always mean that you're guilty.
Exactly. But Milo, in my personal opinion, you said what I need for proof. Mm-hmm. What I need for proof is if somebody sues you and more than 2 people sue you, we're not getting to people accusing you. We're getting to people who have enough proof that they can bring it to court. Because sometimes, like most criminals, you're slick enough not to leave a trail. So if 2 people are enough to bring it to court, and they're so successful that you say, you know what, I need to just, have this go away. Doesn't always mean guilt. But to me, that proves that all of a sudden, when it starts coming on more and more, and then when you add an out-of-wedlock child that you denied, that you came on the record and said it's not your child, then you later came forward and said, was your child, Autumn Jackson, remember the chick who got arrested and went to prison because she was trying to shake him down. She sued him for $40 million. Remember back in the 90s?
Yeah.
He denied her at first on the record. Yeah. Then he had to come forward because she had to go to prison because she shook him down, and her mother was always getting paid from Cosby, so her mother was like, never came forward. So, but when she went to shake him down, all of a sudden there's a court case. Now he has to admit, okay, yeah, I was paying for her, yeah, it's my kid. But he had already been on the record saying that it wasn't his kid. So now you add all that, come forward, 2015, a bunch of chicks saying, yeah, he raped me. To me, and you don't come out and say, no, I didn't do this. No, that to me says I believe you're guilty.
Okay.
That's to me, that's my proof. Now, if you need more than that, as I said to you earlier, E, I akin that to white people saying, how do you know this white cop hates black people? He didn't say nigger. He didn't say anything.
That's your equivalent to that.
No, what I'm trying to say is, for you to say now, just because he said in a deposition from 2005, I'm not saying you, Jamie, because you still kind of are hedging your bet.
I'm not hedging my bets. I think he's a fucking slime ball. If you just the fact that you bought it with the intent of doing that, so to me, make him a slime ball.
So earlier I said to E, I said, I feel a certain way about Jill Scott tweet, because I view Jill Scott as a person that...
What tweet? The latest tweet or the first tweet?
The latest tweet. That kind of is that views herself as uplifting girls. And I like Jill Scott. I think she's like a great symbol. And I think that, she does a lot of good work. She makes dope music. But for her to say, once she saw the deposition, that I finally have proof, I see this, which means that she doubted the accusations of 36 women. So I guess it sounds kind of sexist for me to say, as a woman, for you, I got to look at you side-eye when you defend other women when you didn't believe 36 women just because of this man. Because we can agree, I think, that if it was somebody else, like if it was 36 women against Donald Trump, I don't think she would have had waited until she gets the deposition for Donald Trump saying this.
Donald Trump wasn't her what the fuck? Her child had hero either.
Right. So what I'm saying is sometimes we're blind, and I think right here she would have to admit a blind spot, like with certain black people with him. I think you have to say this was a blind spot. I got blinded because of who he is. The same with R. Kelly, how people are blinded because of the music because of who he is. The same way with Jerry Lee Lewis. The same way with Michael Jackson. The way he did, I'm not saying he molested children, but how he spent the night with children, how he lived his life, ways that we all know are just unacceptable ways. You know what I mean? He admitted to sleeping in bed with kids that aren't his. You know what I mean? You know that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. And they're not related to you. That's unacceptable. But people
let's stick. We don't want to go there with Mike. Let's stick with Dr. Cosby.
Thank you for bringing this back full circle. So what I'm saying is for people to say, oh, I needed this to validate the word of 36 women, and granted, they didn't want to believe it.
I don't know those women.
They didn't want to believe it.
You don't
because of who he is, his stature, you know what I mean? And it's hard to follow.
You don't know Bill Cosby.
He just said, I didn't want to believe it.
No. But you said you don't know those women. You don't know Bill Cosby.
Well, I know more about him than them. At least I got an image of him. I know what he has stood for in the past. I know what he has done for us as a people. So therefore, I'm going to rock with him until I'm shown that I don't need to rock with him.
And the odd thing about this is, it's the exact opposite. Now, you may know more about the women than you ever knew about Dr. Cosby when he comes to... he was a serial rapist. Like this thing's supposed to doing this shit from 69 up until the 2000s, nigga. And like I said, if 36 women came forward, you think
it's not 36. It's actually 16.
No. 36 women are 16.
Maybe straight up true.
Right.
I will say that.
Okay, I believe you 100. I believe 100%. 36 out of 36. I don't think 36 tell the truth, but I also believe there's more than 36 that he did this to. That's like saying the 20
time, because when you really think about it, you got to really understand karma. And you look at all the speeches that he gave of trying to uplift black people and the things he said at Stony Brook. I mean, he spoke to the people about naming their children different names and pulling your pants up, and then he just was slapping black people. And then he did it again. And then he did certain things where he spoke at different, I want to say it was LIU.
Well, some of the things he was saying about black people were true.
It was.
But
look how they came to light with him.
Okay, you guys. He played him. He's a fucking clown, yo. And I'm hurt. I ain't even gonna. I'm hurt because I believed in him, and I didn't want to believe in this.
And now I'm looking at the backlash that we as black men might get because of him. How they might not ever take our word.
The reason I'm calling it a silent weapon, and I'm not backing down from that.
It's definitely a silent weapon.
That we sitting here even talking about this shit at this point in time, before we even talk about black churches, we talking about this shit. It's a diversion.
Well.
I ain't saying he ain't fucking slime. Don't get that twisted.
First of all, yeah, I know this is your house, but it's our podcast, nigga. No. So there is no diversion because E and I set the agenda. So if
I'm not saying that we're diverting from the topic.
No. I'm saying the reason why we're talking about Cosby is because me and E were running with E.
But wait, no.
You're talking about at large. I got you.
That's all I'm saying.
Things heat up in Brooklyn.
I got you. But the way I think we could bring this back to a positive place, because even though back when others like you guys may have been, I don't want to say defending him, I would just say not.
We needed proof.
You guys needed more proof. Because I think everything that you saw before, in any other circumstance, E, I know you would see that as proof in any If a nigga looks sideways at you,
it was Bill Cosby.
Right. Okay. Right.
And then that's what really threw us off because I just needed more because. I didn't want to believe that black men always take a hit, and not even so much black men, but the whole rape allegation. So many people lie about it, so then that comes into a judgment too. It's like, well, people lie about it and they end up being innocent. Right. And look how many, I think a statistic showed that at one point in, I think I looked it up, it said in 1987, 65% of black men went to jail for rape, but only 15% did it.
Wow, that might be in the state. That would be. I don't think that could be a national stat. That would be crazy.
What's that?
We'll get Jack on that. Jack, our crack research analyst, he'll get on that.
What stat was that?
The stat was that how many men went to jail for accusations of rape in 1987. They said it was 65%. I believe 16% were guilty.
16% were guilty.
Innocent, but ended up being proven guilty.
Oh.
So the way I think we could bring, like I tell you earlier, is when I was younger, I used to think that, if somebody did, thank you, Milo, if somebody did something really horrendous, really horrendous, this is really horrendous, that their life's work can be kind of like skewed. And I don't know, I think with like Dr. Cosby, I think with Bill, I think he could be ridiculed. I think he could be, I love the name Bill Cosby. I think it's hilarious. I love the memes.
I don't love the memes.
I love the memes.
The memes, yeah.
But
I don't love them.
But I think that, in a way, like, I don't view him, even though maybe I should, I don't view him as a monster. Like, I will choose to view him, even though I was pressing, like, yo, this nigga's a rapist. I was pushing that. I know that. But now that everybody kind of knows it, I personally will remember him as what he was. You know what I mean? And I don't really mind.
So you're going to forgive him?
No, I don't forgive him.
Never ever?
No, nigga, I got 3 daughters. I got a mama. He's a rapist, nigga. Hell no.
You want to forgive Bill?
Hell no, nigga. You're a rapist.
Just a question. Just a question.
It ain't about me forgiving Bill. I'm highly disappointed in Bill. I'm hurt by Bill right now.
Yeah, yeah. You know what?
I'm ready to forgive.
I stand corrected. I agree with Milo. Like, my forgiveness doesn't mean shit. Yeah, it doesn't matter if I forgive. Like, as far as personally, like, will I ever not see him as a rapist? No.
You think people gonna forgive Dylan, who shot up the people in the church?
First thing I said, was those black people did. I think did black people
gave him the same week.
But you know what? That's black folk dealing with religion, and with a lot of things like religion is people say it's between them and their God. So like with religion, there's a reason why you deal with faith, because you can't logically explain faith to somebody logically. Faith deals with the illogic. It deals with believing in the unknown. So that's why those people forgave Dylan. You know what I mean? They base it on biblical principles, which is, I gotta have faith that the Father wants me to be like this. Or, excuse me, Dylan Roof, the South Carolina shooter. So
he was forgiven. So that's why I asked, will you ever forgive?
Well, I mean, I didn't forgive Dylan Roof, so I mean, but I think there's a lot of these false narratives like that, especially that you see going around Facebook and stuff like that about, oh yeah, I forgive Dylan Roof, but won't forgive Cosby. Like, first of all, forgiveness of Dylan Roof or Cosby, to me, like, I don't like the fact that the people said it, but it doesn't mean anything. Cosby raped bitches and is not going to jail. Dylan Roof, regardless of what you feel,
he can't say he ain't going to jail now.
No. Statute of limitations over.
Oh, yeah. Things happen in America that he always be shocked about. I'm just saying.
He can't.
He probably won't come out the house again.
Remember, the way that you know that he raped broads
is because
it's not legally supposed to know. Like, that's a leak.
Yeah.
No, the judge released it. The judge released it because of that speech he said. The judge released because of the speech he said.
Really?
Yeah, there was a speech he gave, and the judge cited the speech where he was just chastising niggas, chastising mothers, and promiscuity, and just going beyond the pale. You know what I mean? Like the college, doll. You know what I mean? Just doing fuckery. So, hopefully, like, I think that, of course the women are scarred, but I think that because people believe the women now, and I think that we could